My name is Danielle Brady. Where I went to school, as far as college, I went to St. Cloud State. And my position, I'm the Volunteer Services Manager at the Crisis Nursery. 11 years. I started in child care as a child care supervisor, and I've been in volunteer services for 6 years now. So we are a short-term shelter for kids 6 and under, for parents to bring their children in times of crisis. So when they have something going on, whatever it might be, we don't judge crisis, it's first come, first serve. So crisis can be anything from looking for housing, we have a high percentage of families that are homeless, looking for jobs, funeral planning, chemo, whatever tough thing they're going through that maybe isn't appropriate for a child to be there. This is a safe place. Maybe if there's a domestic situation, a dangerous situation going on, and the parent needs to move out of a dangerous situation, they can bring their kids here for up to 3 days at a time, up to 30 days in a year if need be. But the majority use us 3 to 4 times to get through whatever their crisis is. So we're a safe haven for the little ones to be while they take care of the adult things. The kids are all 6 and under, so they're all little ones. That age group, 1 and under, and then 2 and under, and as you go up, is the youngest are at highest risk for abuse. So we're here to prevent child abuse and neglect. Our mission is to end child abuse and neglect and create strong, healthy families. First started, I worked with kids that were already abused, and to see how hard that is on children and how hard it is to come back from that, to live a normal life, to not have some issues because of that. I had never heard of a place that was here to get there before the problem. There's a lot of places that once the kids are abused, they'll work with the kids, but to get there before it happens to hopefully prevent it, I'd never heard of it. So once I heard of the Crisis Nursery, it's a mission I'll stand behind the rest of my life. There's not very many, unfortunately, out there. We are the only one like us in Minnesota, and we're one of about 20 in the nation. Well, the favorite part would obviously probably be just being with the kids. Whenever I want, I can. So that's always nice. But I also like, since I work with volunteers, I do a lot of training volunteers and informing the public about, or our volunteers about trauma-informed care and how our approach to children, as far as assuming every child that comes in the door has experienced crisis or trauma, and how we handle those kids as opposed to one of your nieces or nephews or kids or grandkids. It's quite different, and there's a reason for it, but it really works to teach them self-soothing and how to calm themselves and get control of their feelings and put words to what their feelings are, because a lot of kids don't know what they may be acting out, but it's because they're angry, sad, or scared. But they're not saying, I'm mad. They might be throwing something. Right? Well, we serve up to 18. 2 of those beds are reserved for county emergencies, so we're almost always at 16, which is our capacity. Every day by about 10 a.m. we're full. We turn away 2 to 3 kids for everyone we serve, so that's been getting worse. As far as the need is getting higher, the funding is not, so we can't get bigger without the funding, so we can only serve about 18 kids a day. Well, maltreatment of a child, whether it's physical, verbal, emotional, that's abuse too, sexual, neglect, not taking care of your kids is another form of abuse. Well, it's 100% preventable, so no one wakes up in the morning and says, I want to hurt my child. It's almost always because of stress. Poverty is a big reason for stress. There's so many reasons for stress, but usually stress, you're at the end of the rope, and your baby doesn't stop crying, and obviously a baby can't tell you what's wrong. Maybe an infant or toddler can't tell you what's wrong because they don't have those words. I think educating parents on child development, for example, if you're a parent that is less educated, a lot of our parents don't even have a high school education, well, they don't know that when a child is walking, let's say around 12 months, that they shouldn't be they may think they should be going to the bathroom on the big potty also. Well, that's not developmentally okay. So they may be getting mad at their child because they think they're supposed to be doing something that they're not. Maybe they should be talking. No, talk to me, tell me what you're saying when they're not old enough to talk. So education is number one, I think. Teaching parents about, one, child development, but also letting them know the resources out there to help them. It's a good question. I do not. I know that the last number I have is like just less than 5,000 kids were abused in Minnesota last fiscal year, I believe. And we, I don't know, because a child comes in with dirty clothes does not mean they're abused or neglected. Maybe they don't have a washer. Maybe they're just poor. It doesn't mean it's abuse.